of this program. I don't understand.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Oh, that's right. It's called Mike's Daily Podcast, and it is episode 3362, 3362.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm Mike Matthews, and we're doing a show called Mike's Daily Podcast. And I'm Mike Matthews, and I sing to you, and I have been cast in a podcast that has my name. I'm so excited. I can't tell you if you are the same. If you're excited, that's great. Here it is. It's the show that's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And you would think there'd be another verse or chorus or something, but
Mike's
there's just this part.
Daily
And then it's done.
Podcast.
I think.
Yeah.
Now it's done. Now it's done. All right. I'm Mike, and I'm at Café Anyway. It's this place in podCastro Valley, the last place on earth in the land of Meritopica. We have lots of topicas. We're broadcasting from Café Anyway. And obviously, I've been doing it a long time because you don't get to 3,362 episodes like in a week. It takes a little while. We didn't do a podcast yesterday. Various holidays happened yesterday, and thusly we could not take time to do the podcast. We had to observe these holidays. One of them being National Strange Music Day. And you know, there's all kinds of strange music that doesn't fall in the parameters of every single song you hear on the radio. And I've worked in radio for 40 years. I know of which I speak. I've heard certain songs that I thought, oh gosh, if I hear this song one more time. And I only heard it once. I only heard it one time. And I was thinking, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to listen to it one more time. Luckily, my brain has this ability to adapt, conform, disengage from my ability to like things.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I guess I have a high tolerance, a threshold, if you will. The podcast picture is of the beautiful campus, which I have never walked around before, even though I've worked in the city where it is located and have worked with people that went to this school for over 10 years, over a decade. And that would be Ohlone College. It sits in Fremont, up against the hill, and I'm on Mission Boulevard every day. I get off Mission before you get to the college. But in fact, the late great Basil the Boxer and I walked on Mission Boulevard around this area years ago. Had a nice walk. But I finally went on campus, walked around. I don't know if I was supposed to. I didn't have a pass or anything. I'm not a student. I'm 57 years old. This old white guy walking around the campus. That does look kind of weird. I'm a professor. I was just going to say, I'm a professor. I could teach the radio class there if it existed. It used to be. They still have a great radio station there. But oh wow, I think it's KOHL, and a lot of people I know worked there at one point. But it's gone so downhill as far as actually having. It sounds great on the air, but there's no students on it anymore. It's sad. What were we talking about? Or, you and I, we were discussing something. Ohlone College. Oh, yeah. So see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com, a beautiful sunset this evening. And if you want to see video of me talking, just yip-yapping, because that seems to be the big thing to have people when they're doing...
This is interesting.
Wow, this is interesting.
I don't think this is interesting when people just sit there talking in front of microphones and people watch that on YouTube. This is more of a listening experience, if you will. But if you want to see me just talking into a microphone, I have it up for a day, the video. And there's a link to it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Just click on the thing that says, see the video of the show here.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
My review. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Time for me to do a quick review. And that would be of this new Ricky Gervais cartoon called Alley Cats on Netflix. Oh, wow. You can tell they just rolled tape Because, hey, there's an infinite amount of tape. However big the storage is on your drive, that's all they need. They can just go on and on and on forever, just yip-yapping about whatever and cussing up a storm. Oh, hey, let's animate some cats. Oh, hey, because I've probably got some really crazy fascination with the movie Fritz the Cat. I was all into that when I grew up, probably, says Ricky Gervais at some point in some interview. Yeah, I really thought that Fritz the Cat was just the greatest. You know what I mean? It was just an absolutely great movie, and it was animated, and it was great, and I sound like Bill Nye, who I just watched in another Netflix thing called, what was that called? Or is it an Amazon thing? I've already forgotten the name. Isn't that the way you binge watch something and then your brain just goes, oh, you can't do that to me again. I'm getting rid of everything. All that stuff you were watching and subjecting me to. It was the thing where it was Amazon Prime. They have a new show called Ride or Die. And it started out kind of interesting. Bill Nye's in it, that British guy. He's been in a bunch of stuff. And the guy talks like this. He was in a great Doctor Who episode where he's in a museum and he's talking about the work of Van Gogh. And in England, they call him Van Gogh. And meanwhile, Van Gogh is standing right there as the guy is talking about this. Van Gogh had some of the most inspirational art that was ever seen in the world.
For you, if there's a law against it, it's wrong, black and white. I just don't see things that way, that's all.
Well, you ought to give it a try, fella. It might keep you out of jail.
Yeah, it might just do that. But the thing is, this Ricky Gervais thing, why, Ricky? I know Netflix threw a bunch of money at you, and you thought, we need another cartoon. There's already an animated cartoon where they cuss and use bad language.
Anyway.
The Exploding Kittens one. Oh, that's terrible. Don't watch that if you're easily offended. It is definitely blasphemous. It is not good. Just ever since Rick and Morty, okay? Rick and Morty broke the Morty mold, and they said that's it, no more. Okay, you had South Park, you got Rick and Morty, that's enough. Put down the mic. We really got to stop with these cartoons where they cuss, and they say this one particular word that if you ever said that on the radio, you would be fired like this. I'm snapping my finger. I don't know if my lame microphone picks that up, but yeah, so quickly you would be fired.
It's pretty interesting.
It is interesting that Ricky Gervais just has the carte blanche, the power to say that word as many times as he wants, and meanwhile he's being animated as a cat. Oh, and by the way, they kill a cat in every episode. Yeah. Speaking of not cat.
Mike's Daily Podcast, broadcasting from Café Anyway.
That's right. Thank you, Kit Carr. He stopped by and said hi. That show wasn't any better, but still, it's legendary. With Michael Knight and David Hasselhoff before he became huge. And it's a Glenn A. Larson production. And we were on that crazy ride with all of his Battlestar Galactica and everything else he did. But no, one of the reasons we took the day off yesterday, aside from it being the crazy music day, and it was International Strange Music, actually, to be more precise, and National Peach Pie Day,
And the Oscar goes to...
The Oscar does not go to this one guy. I have never heard of this guy. He's apparently some big DJ. There was a big appreciation of him and DJs that mix there on stage. Okay, great. You're talented. Can I do it? Nope. So you're talented. But so there was that sort of celebration. Burning Man starting. But interestingly, and Pluto Demoted Day, when it no longer was a planet, but a small, whatever they call it now, a small asteroid, a small planetary body that let's see. And they tell me to relax about it. I don't have that much invested in it being a planet. But let's see. It was named after the Roman god of the underworld. And it's a dwarf planet. There we go. Okay. But interestingly enough, yesterday was William...
Revenge is a dish best served cold. You think about that.
Wilberforce Day, who is not noted as being the person who said that quote that we just heard. But it is a day about William Wilberforce, who was born in 1759, his conversion to evangelical Christianity in 1784, in his 30s, inspired his abolitionist view.
Oh, Mike, you're such a creative soul.
Thank you. I'm creative, but not so good with math. He was in his 20s, actually. Inspired his abolitionist views. He was known for using his remarkable debate and oration skills to highlight the cruelty of slavery. This was back in 1784. He pioneered the movement to end Britain's slave trade and slave emancipation. William Wilberforce also helped form the Society for Effecting the Abolition of the Slave Trade, also known as the Anti-Slavery Society. This according to nationaltoday.com. In 1787, he became part of and led a Christian missionary and abolitionist group that worked for his causes. In 1789, he introduced 12 resolutions against the slave trade. However, none of these were successful. He was not disheartened, though, and he put forward another motion a couple years later in 1791. And then there was... That didn't succeed either. He put together a compromise measure in 1792 that allowed the gradual abolition of the slave trade. This was finally accepted by other legislatures. Finally, his 1807 legislation made slave trading illegal in Britain. In 1807, however, it did not free those who were already enslaved. That's a little bit of history involving that important day yesterday. On to something else equally important. Okay, this isn't important at all, but it is kind of concerning. When you get all those darn ads when you're watching YouTube about Tai Chi walking, and the guy walking in this commercial is ripped. How does that happen? He's walking and he's doing Tai Chi, and suddenly he has muscles. He's muscle bound. What's that about? And the late great John C. Dvorak, who recently passed away, had an interesting observation about it.
Have you seen these ads? Yeah, I started Tai Chi walking. Now I'm ripped, and this guy's muscle bound. Come on,
is all we have to say. And this guy, he has to say, "Come on," too, right now on the phone.
I don't know what. Who can I talk to about? I mean,
what?
Come on, wake up!
What?
What are you guys doing?
What?
Huh?
What?
I don't know what you're doing. Wake up! Not woke up. Oh my God!
Wow. He just had to blow off some steam, that guy. I hope he doesn't have a knife, even though it was National Knife Day, too. All those reasons why we were celebrating yesterday. Okay, here's something. I don't know if I want to celebrate this, but this was interesting. So, we leave the door open slightly for my cats when we go outside, when we go on a little walk. And we like to shut the door when the sun starts to go down, because we've seen raccoons in the area. In fact, there's this one particular raccoon that comes by, and they're cute. They're cute, but you got to watch out, because they just, when they feel they can walk into your home, look out, all kinds of trouble can start. We've named this raccoon Bandit. So the cats are still outside walking around. So my lovely lady friend and I, we go for a walk. And I come back to the house, and I notice, I see Bandit. He's not in the house, but he's walking on the patio. So I go outside, and I always tell him, go on, get out of here. Because I don't want him to think that I'm friendly, because then he's going to take advantage of me. That's how raccoons are. That's how a lot of people in my life have been. They've taken advantage of me. But I'm not lying on a couch telling you my problems. I'm just telling you that's probably something that's affected you too. If you're a nice person, there are people that will take advantage of you and use you, and that's terrible. But it's true. So you've got to watch out for the raccoons in this world. Anyway, Café Anyway. And this is something live and loco that happened.
Live and loco.
So I'm in the house. I told the raccoon to leave, Bandit. And then a little bit later on, my lovely lady friend, he looks at the water that we have for Rocky sitting in the house. She goes, what's in the water? What? And we look in the water and it's full of dirt. The little water dish for Rocky is full of dirt. And I said, uh-oh. You know, raccoons, they have to clean everything. They're like, what was his name? Howie Mandel. You know how he has to clean? He's got a germophobia. I'm not joking about him. He jokes about it himself. It's not a good condition to have. And I had a great aunt, my grandma's sister, that had this issue as well. So they're just hyper vigilant about cleaning, let's just say. That's how raccoons are. In fact, in Germany, they call them Wasserbears. I forget what the German word is for bear, but they're called water bears, basically. So what happened is this bandit walked in and washed something in Rocky's water. So I thought that was the end of it, right? We were all right. No. The next morning I went to get food for Rocky out of his bag, and I noticed that there were these claw scratches on the bag. The kind of claw scratches that none of my cats could do. These were raccoon claw scratches, which actually kind of frightened me. I'm thinking, wow. Yeah, I've heard that if they take a swipe at you, you're in trouble. And if they bite you, you're in trouble. Rabies and all of that. So anyway, Café Anyway. That raccoon burgled us. Burgled. What a weird word that is. But I hope that didn't offend you, that word that I just said.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
But here's the other interesting thing that happened. That was, well, first, we have to get to this interesting news item here. Because I know you've been waiting for an interesting news item. And I have a news item here. It's an item that is of the news sort of thing. Oh!
Fair and unbalanced.
What is making me a little unbalanced these days, and I think I'm fair in saying this, is the folks that you hear on the radio, your news reporters, anybody you hear on the radio these days that are trying to bring you the news or give you commentary, they use these two phrases too much. They use sort of too much, and they use kind of too much. Sort of and kind of. It's sort of like the da-da-da-da. It's kind of, I've heard people that are spokespeople. They're supposed to be the ones that you go to for the facts, for the information, for the give me the data. And they're saying sort of and kind of when they're referring. You know, it's sort of like we like to do kind of a thing where we sort of. And to me, I hate that kind of language where people are not being committed to what they're saying. And that also, when you say right a lot, right, that means that right, that's the person thinking that you're not listening, that you're not following what they're saying, and they're getting really insecure. So they got to say right to make sure that you're listening. It's similar to certain pastors, when they're doing a sermon, will try and get the congregation to make sure that they're following, that they're tracking, as they say, the sermon, what he's saying. Pastors will say, amen. Instead of right, they go, amen. Yeah. My point is, that's driving me nuts.
Ridiculous random.
And that was a ridiculous random thing to bring up. But did you know McDonald's? Did you know McDonald's is still in a league of its own, generating roughly 5 times the sales that Burger King has? 5 times. Whoa. and spending about $1 billion on advertising. $1 billion. Da-da-da-da-da. And that whole jingle. McDonald's has the scale, advertising power, and the margins, while Burger King and Wendy's are fighting for second place. Wendy's and Burger King both face pressure from high beef costs and weaker franchisee profits. And
Good morning.
Here's someone calling.
You know that my transistor radio does work.
Oh, good.
So I'm grateful that I can still get the program on the radio.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I just like to listen when we travel. I won't try to use my cellular device to listen.
Well,
thank you.
You can use your cellular device if you would like to listen to Mike's Daily Podcast. That's perfectly fine. Go for that if you would like. And I got all these stories from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekdays in the 5 p.m. hour, and he's on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 a.m. hour, and he sounds a little like this.
You got to be able to look at a room and still look at your app and hit the app and use the app, but you still got to look at a room. Otherwise, you're going to walk into a wall, and that's going to sound like... I love Mike. I'd give him a raise, but nope.
And he also says that AI and the college graduate, 69% of college students said they feared AI would make it harder to find a job.
Right? Good.
70% almost. 22% said they have changed their major or their concentration because of the job market worries. Artificial intelligence has created an additional headwind for recent grads trying to score jobs.
I'm super! Thanks for asking.
I'm super! Thanks for asking.
They may not be so super next time you ask how they're doing. Oh, yeah, so the beef thing, I heard that, okay, so everybody is freaking out about the beef. Beef prices going up. Now, for a while, everyone was freaking out about the screwworm thing. Oh, they're letting in all these cows from Mexico. Oh, no. And they all have screwworm. And oh, no. Hide your dogs and your cats, too, because they'll get it. Low. And now, apparently, from what I just heard from someone on Bloomberg, it's contained. And it's not a big deal anymore. But we freak out, don't we? The last thing I remember was the chicken thing. Remember when that went nuts? The avian flu, and they had to cull. I hate that term. They had to murder a bunch of chickens, and those poor chickens didn't get eaten even though they were murdered. It's terrible. They had to do that because they were infected with this disease, this avian flu thing. That happened recently. Remember, it was so expensive to buy chicken? Well, now people are buying chicken because the beef is so expensive. Thank goodness we don't have an avian flu happening right during this beef crisis thing. And then remember the egg crisis. We had an egg crisis about a year ago. And I stopped eating eggs after that. The reason why is I found that if you get some soft tofu and you fry it in a pan with something that's omega-3 friendly, like olive oil, for example, an oil that's good for you or better for you. No oil is really perfect for you, but still something that's not coconut oil, from what I've heard, will clog up your arteries. So watch out. I know it's delicious, but watch out with that and do your own research. I've heard some people say canola oil is better, but then others say no, stay away from that stuff. Stay away from saturated fats and all that. Well, the point is that if you add a lot of seasoning to the soft tofu and you would cook it up like you would eggs, scrambled eggs, you get a scramble that's very similar to. Anyway, that's why I don't eat, because the only thing I bought eggs for was to make scrambled eggs. But some of you love the yolk and you love to do the hard boiled and the soft boiled and all that, and you poach them and you go nuts. So, but you're probably happier that these egg prices are lower than they were during all the hysteria, and it's always one thing, and it's always a food, or it's toilet paper. Oh my gosh, and everybody has to go and grab it and run out of the store, and there's lines, and oh no.
Chowder.
It's chowder. Next, it'll be chowder. Everyone's going to freak out about chowder. Oh, there's not enough chowder. What? Look who's here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How ya doing? I brought my horse.
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
Yeah, I think I agree with you all about.
We're going to lock them up, all of them. Then we're going to come lock you up too.
That's my best friend right there. His name is Pete.
Pete?
Yeah, Florida Pete. He's a great guy. He's very, he says what he thinks. And if you don't like it, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You know what I'm saying?
We are the knights who say...
No. No, stop it. Get them guys out of here. I hate them. Get them out of here.
Wow, I've never seen you like this, disgruntled fiddle player. You're actually disgruntled about something else other than the fiddle.
Yeah, I do not like the fiddle, and I don't play it anymore because it really upset me because it's very complicated. But I could go on and on.
And that's all he had to say, and then he walked away. Okay, and he doesn't like the knights who say me. Interestingly. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer. Have some
I could sure go for some root beer. Oh, that's great. Yeah. How are things in the basement?
Yeah, the basement's great because that's where I make the root beer. And people come down there and they talk to me about Burning Man. I tell them shut up because I don't care about Burning Man. I don't want to burn up. I'm a man that doesn't want to be burning because I tell them that.
This isn't right!
Yeah, that's what I tell them.
There's something wrong!
But drink right now, I'll cut you!
I'll have a little more. That's really good. I do not... Okay, my lovely lady friend found this lady who's probably in her early 80s, late 70s, who camps, and she films all of it and does a fantastic job filming it and talks about how she camps and, hey, it's easy to camp. And she cooks these unbelievable... Speaking of beef, she cooked this amazing burger. And she took a bite of it, and then she shoved it in the camera. And look, see? It's my way I like it. It's medium rare, see? I hate when they shove it right in the camera lens. I wish I could have some. And who's up there? What's that? Hawaiian noises? He's banging on the bongo like a chimpanzee. Oh, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Your money for nothing and your modem for free. We got to install microwave ovens or custom kitchen deliveries. We got to install these refrigerators. We got to find these color TVs so we can watch ballet.
I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive even though no one cares about this anymore.
Just shut up, Timothy. All right, that's the end of the show. What do you think about all that? Here are the numbers to call. There's just one number to call, but it is a series of numbers. Here's what to call.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640. Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Phone for All.
Johns are passed down. My Johns are blow. I love my blow Johns, blow.
And with all things having to do with Mike's Daily Podcast, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. Thank you for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.